expectations and all that fun stuff. So, three pre-calc teachers, 2 veterans, 1 rookie. Okay, I'll let you figure out who the 2 veterans and the 1 rookie are. Okay, the 2 veterans have their actual school pictures taken every year. The rookie literally had his picture taken somewhere back over there with my laptop. Okay, so there's that. But we have the utmost confidence and abilities in Schmelly. Hill and I have been teaching this for a long time. We love it. We're rejuvenated every year with the new crop of kids coming in, learning new, fresh, new stuff. The nice thing is that you guys have already been introduced to a lot of the trig, or some of the trig stuff in Algebra 2. When you guys developed already, you guys developed the unit circle last year, fourth quarter, especially in extended. I don't know how much in regular that they did, but in extended they developed the unit circle. We'll redevelop it again, and then we'll expand on it a lot. I'll talk about that later. So I'm not going to read line for line, word for word, all that fun stuff. I want to say it. The whole being respectful thing right off the start. Tomorrow when you come to class, the classroom might not look like this. Okay? We're a very flexible type of classroom, someday we'll be working in groups, someday we'll be working individually, someday we'll be just straight up taking notes, someday it'll be more discover on your own type, or in a group setting type of thing, shoulder buddies, all that fun stuff. We got a lot of stuff going on. Okay? So just be respectful. Know that we are a very, how do I want to say this? I want to say an open classroom, but like, you may not know the person sitting next to you, and we may ask you to communicate with them. Just be respectful. Do the math, get the math done. Make sure you both understand, and go on. Okay? So that's where we're at. You should have your own notebook for this class. You should have a pre-calc notebook or a pre-calc binder. Not gonna lie, a binder is probably the way to go. One, you can put your notebook inside of the binder too, and 2, we're gonna give you a lot of stuff, and everything we give you is gonna be free of functions. So, with that also being said too, bigger class, you guys already did it. Super proud. We do have desks way in the back, but we don't want you to ever sit at it unless we have to. Okay. We would rather much be. We're an upfront kind of a class. Okay. So if you go, we got the 2 new kidney bean tables this year, so we took out a couple of desks and stuff like that. So we're more of an upfront type of thing. Canvas is going to be your friend. So like, as you can see down here in this corner, I'm recording this class right now, and then it will get posted on Canvas this afternoon. Okay? And that'll happen every day. The nice thing about it is we just copied it over last year's courses. So if you're going to anticipate that you're going to be going and you have some time to work ahead, all of last year's videos are up there already, I believe. I can't remember if I deleted them or not. But you can work ahead if you know you're going to be gone. Class participation is an expectation. It's not an option. One, I am a big proponent of, if I see a cell phone, I'm going to stare at you. I'm going to glare at you. I'm going to say, I don't like it. And trust me, don't get me wrong. I'm the worst one, okay, with it. Okay? So putting it in your backpack is not the same as putting it in your pocket. It's not the same as tucking it underneath your leg. Backpack is the better of those 3 options. Okay? And it's not that hard, because then it's not going to vibrate. That what is it, serotonin or whatever it is that you get when you hear that zzz, zzz, that you don't want to have FOMO. Okay? I get it. I'm there too. Okay? But we got to focus on the task at hand, because sometimes we're going to go quick. Okay? and you're not going to have time to distract yourself for 35 seconds, and then you're going to be totally lost. Okay? Occasionally, we will assign you a video to watch, usually over a weekend. Okay, so it would be like we would usually assign it on Thursday to have it watched before Tuesday, kind of deal, so that you have some time in there to watch it. I know for a fact we will never assign you. It's got to be done by tomorrow. Okay, because not everybody. You're busy. I'm busy. We're all busy. Okay? We may not necessarily have a lot of time for that. So just so you know, if we do assign you a video to watch, there's a reason for it. We're not just giving you busy work for busy work's sake. There's a reason because we're probably going to talk about it that day that it's due. Okay? Right? And we want you to not be lost in the week. We want you to be there. Okay? All right? Good on that. What do we got underneath here? Assignments. Tuesdays are your grading mods. Now I know we're starting on a Wednesday, so whoever you would have had yesterday, that is your grading teacher. We have adjusted because of Mr. Ben Q back here. We have adjusted our turn-in spot. We have baskets over in this corner back here with grading teacher grading mods on them. I will be honest, as long as it goes into one of my baskets and you're one of mine, I can sort them. Okay? So there's that. We will not be collecting every single thing, just so you know. We are currently in a debate as to how much of this we're going to collect, if any, just so you know. Okay? Typically, in here, if we are going to collect it, it will be on a colored piece of paper. Okay? So that will give you note sheets periodically throughout the year. Not necessarily every day, but periodically throughout the year we'll give you note sheets. That will all be on white paper so that we can just say we're collecting the blue worksheets this year. If we do have any homework that is due or that we are collecting, we will be collecting it the day of the summative assessment, which for you, your first summative assessment is on the 19th of September. Okay? For those of you that might have noticed coming in, we have a calendar in the back, on the back whiteboard of everything that we have, and it says on their test chapter P on the 19th of September. Okay? So just so you know, that is always back there. Okay? Late assignments, we just don't do them. We just flat out, they're either in or they're not. Okay? All that fun stuff. Okay? Tests and quizzes will always be announced. We will tell you, like for instance, we would announce it on the warm-up slide. Okay, we'll have notes and stuff of when things are due, etc. There, we will also have the calendar is always updated because Mrs. Hill and I are kind of OCD in that regard, so that will always be updated. Couple of things about summative stuff. Okay? Formative stuff, we'll take them in class. Usually, some days it's on your honor to turn in, kind of a deal. But if it's not turned in the class, then you forfeit your ability to fix that formative. Okay, so just so you're aware of that. Summatives, we don't give you extra time. We have geared all of our summatives to be in the time frame that we give it in. So no extra time unless you have like an IEP or a 504 or something like that. Okay? But we highlighted this one. We're a no retake class. Okay? Just so you know. We're a no retake class. So, yes, that. You know what you're doing and that stuff. Makeups, we want, so if you miss a test, get it done. One of my goals this year for myself, is to make sure that my students, like, if they miss a test, they're on it within the next week. Because the longer you wait on that, the worse you're actually going to do. So the quicker you get that done. Okay? Good stuff. Okay? So then when it comes to how we actually grade here is the next thing. So 70% of your grade is going to come from summative assessments, quizzes, tests, and labs. Okay? 15% is going to come from formatives, homeworks, actual formative assessments, and those. And then 15% from the final exam that you'll take in January. Okay? Now, that's for us here at West. This class is dual credit through the tech, which gives you the opportunity at the end of the year in May to earn 3 college credits. Okay? For them, those percentages change because for them, it's going to be all sum for how we calculate it. It's all summative, and that's 80%. 20% is their final. You have to take their final in order to give you their credit. But we'll deal with that in May. Don't worry about that right now. At some point in time, within the next couple of weeks, we're going to have Mrs. Ravin from the tech come over and get you guys all registered. Everybody's going to register because I don't want to deal with what I had to deal with last year when I was called a mean teacher because I didn't register somebody in September and in May they wanted the credit, and I said that I'm done registering you because I registered you in September. You got to go register. You got to put your adult pants on and go register yourself. Okay? Which they would have done had they just picked up the phone and called, but I was the mean because I didn't do it. And that's true because at that time I didn't have my children. Okay? Right? Grading scale, we use the NTC grading scale, so there is no confusion. Just so you know, it's the same basically. It doesn't have certain letters. It doesn't have an A+ category. It doesn't have a C- category. It doesn't have a plus or a minus on the D's. That's the only thing that's different. Otherwise, it's 80 or 90, 80, 76. Okay, so we use that one for it, and we'll talk more dual credit as we go along. It is a really, really good option. Any questions in regards to that which I talked about? If you want, and you don't have to, but if you want, you can get a textbook. Okay? We follow a textbook, but we have created all of our own material supplement to it. So basically the textbook is like a supplement. So if you go onto the Canvas page, which by the way, all of you have access to the Canvas page. I'm going to go onto my teacher Canvas page just because I'm a teacher, not a student. You will have a pre-calculus Canvas. You should be enrolled in it. If not, let me know. I'll get you enrolled. Okay? You click on it. It's got a welcome and all that fun stuff, and I could show you the student view, but I don't really want to. And then down here, it's got textbook, okay, if you wanted to, which is a link, or if you go into Chapter P, which we're in Chapter P. Chapter P stands for prerequisites. It's the stuff that you got to know before we can go on with it. And here in Chapter P, then, you've got a PDF of the text that you can always reference. That way, you always have it. You can have it on your phone. You can have it on a tablet. You can have it on a laptop. You can have it at home. You can have it in Hawaii if you decide to go to Hawaii at some point in time. Okay? It's all there for you, no matter where you are, as long as you have access to it. Okay? And then all of these answer keys, because they're problems out of the textbook, and Chapter P is the only one where we actually reference problems out of the textbook, just because there's so much stuff going on. All of those answer keys are there. Okay? Or worked out solutions, if you will. And then below that would be our schedule of stuff. So like today we're at intro and P4. I'll fill in the dates. We'll put in the video from class today and so on and so forth. And if you wanted to work ahead, if you're going to be gone tomorrow, you could watch the video from last year. So there's that. Okay? Any questions on that? And you should all have access to that all year. Yep. All right. Now I'm going to be done talking here momentarily. I'm going to walk you through so we're in this packet and we're in your notes packet right now. I'm going to walk you through the first couple of lines, and then I'm going to turn you loose and have you and the shoulder partner or table partners all work together to do this other math, because this is kind of review of Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 concepts. Okay? So, complete the note sheet, I don't know what that was. Find the following formulas. Okay, so does anybody remember the slope-intercept form of a line? There is a hint right after, at the end of that line. Anybody remember what the slope-intercept form of a line is? Y equals mx plus b. In y equals mx plus b, x and y are the coordinates of any point that is on the line. What's m? It's the slope. Okay? Hence why it's called slope intercept form. What's the b? Which intercept? The y-intercept, because there is such a thing as an x-intercept too. So this one is the y-intercept, which would be the intercept part of slope-intercept form of a line. Okay. Now, I'm really going to expand your brain, because you guys probably haven't learned this one since maybe geometry. Okay. Does anybody know the point-slope form of a line, which would have in it any point on the line and the slope of the line? Anybody know this one? It is y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity, parentheses, x minus x sub 1. That is the point slope of a line, because the point x sub 1 comma y sub 1 is any point on the line. M is the slope of the line, and then you can find the equation of that line. Okay? Then the last of our three forms of lines is standard or general form of a line, and it comes with it some extra conditions. Okay? The form is ax plus by equals c. And it has to be that way. It can't be ax equals by plus c, because that's y equals mx plus b form, or by equals ax plus c. Okay? It's not like that. It's ax plus by equals c. A and b are both not 0. Okay? So you got to have an a, you got to have a b, numbers. A, b, and c are integers, no decimals, no fractions. Yeah, that's the nice part about it. Also kind of the hard part, because if you have a fraction, you got to get rid of it. Okay? Can't have a fraction in standard form. Okay? And a and b are on the same side of the equation. Okay? So ax and by are on the same side. Grab one of each of those as you come in. Ax and by are on the same side of the equation. Okay? Slope is the steepness, the pitch of a line, if you will. Okay? So that's slope. Okay? We can find it in many different ways. If we know 2 points on the line, we can calculate the rise over the run to get from one point to the other. It's the rate of change, delta y over delta x, but you probably are most familiar with it in subtract the y's over subtract the x. Okay? Okay? Any questions on slope, equations of lines, all that good stuff? Love it. Okay? Now, when we have multiple lines, we can have one of 3 options for multiple lines. First option is they could be parallel. Okay? Best real-world example of parallel lines. Sometimes they're not necessarily lines. Sometimes they're parallel curves. Say it loud. Train tracks. Okay? Train track. Always going, they never intersect. Parallel lines never intersect. If a train track intersected, then mass hysteria. Lots of derailments. Okay? Right? So parallel lines never intersect. And they never intersect because they have the same slope. They have equal slopes. They just have different y-intercepts. Perpendicular lines. How, in what way, do perpendicular lines intersect? How do they intersect, though? You're one step ahead of them. They cross, yep, so they intersect, but how do they intersect? Perpendicular lines, how do they intersect? They make a right angle. Perpendicular lines, actually, technically it's 4 right angles, but it's like they intersect at a right angle. Okay? Right? So the symbol for a perpendicular line is an upside down capital T, signifying the right angleness. Okay? And so those lines, if they are perpendicular, have opposite, one's positive, one's negative, that's what we mean by opposite, reciprocal slopes. Meaning, if the slope of one is A over B, then the perpendicular slope would be negative B, that's the opposite, over A. That's the reciprocal part. Okay? So if the slope of your first line, or one of your lines, is A over B, to be perpendicular, the slope of the other line has to be negative B over A. Vertical lines are x equals some number, and their slope is undefined because they rise, but they don't run. So you're always dividing by 0. Okay. Horizontal lines are y equals some number, and their slope, they don't rise at all, but they run all day, so their slope is 0. Okay? With that being said, I am going to turn it over to you now. I would like you to complete the front and the back of the note sheet. The nice thing is I have already been super duper nice to you in that, I didn't put it on the slide though. If you notice on the back side, on page 2 in your note sheet at the bottom, there's all the answers to all of the examples, okay? So that you can see if you're right or not. Okay? I will be floating around the room asking questions to make sure that we have all of our questions answered, all that good stuff. Yeah. You can work together. You don't have, if you want to work by yourself, you can work by yourself. If you want to work with your shoulder buddy, you can. If you want to work in a group of 3 or 4, I wouldn't go anything more than 4. It's